Cars. For many of us, it's about more than just getting from A to B.
And if you do,
I'm not driving a mini metro.
But what is your car payment really costing you? In this video, we're going to be using 3 real-world examples to give you a better feel for the true cost of car ownership. And the numbers might surprise you. Today's 3 cars for comparison are the cost-effective Hyundai i10, the widely loved and well-respected middle-tier option of the Volkswagen Golf, and the slightly more premium SUV in the shape of the Audi Q5. Now, to keep things simple here, we're not going to worry about trying to compare insurance, maintenance, fuel and everything else. We're just going to focus on the car payments with a few simple assumptions. You've visited autotrader.co.uk. You're looking for a leasing deal over a 36-month contract covering 8,000 miles, and you're going to make 1 month's payment up front. With that said, that means our Hyundai i10 will cost £251.94 a month. The Golf will set us back £400.88 a month, and the Audi Q5 is going to cost us £718.91 per month. Now, I'm not by any means suggesting that this is the best way to pay for a car, or that these will be the best deals on any of the vehicles mentioned, but we're going to use these example numbers to help demonstrate the true cost of having a monthly car payment. And you might think, well, it's straightforward, isn't it? You've already told us what the car payment is each month, so if we just multiply that by the number of payments over the 3-year contract, we already know what each car costs. Now, we could dig into the interest rate that you're being charged, talk about getting a personal loan versus a PCP financing deal, or get hung up on other points around the finance. And it's not to say that they're not important, they can make a huge difference. But the bigger cost, and the one that's not so obvious from the monthly payments, is the opportunity cost. Every month when we receive our net pay, after covering the essential outgoings, we all have a choice. And this choice presents an opportunity. You could either choose to spend that money, for example, on driving a nicer car, or you might choose to invest that money and give future you more options, more freedom, a better quality of life later down the line. And I'm all in favour of enjoying life, trying to find that right balance between current you and future you. But when we choose to spend that money, we cost ourselves the opportunity for the growth of that money in the future. Opportunity cost doesn't just apply to car payments, but given that so many of us in the UK now choose to view a car payment as part of our ongoing monthly budget, it's the perfect example to help demonstrate the cost of sacrificing that income from your take-home pay. Bringing this back to our 3 real-world examples, if we take each of the 3 car payments, and although they're quoted on a 3-year contract, let's assume you've been making those same payments for the last 10, 15, or even 20 years. And then for comparison, let's assume that instead of you having made that car payment each month, you instead invest that money monthly into a basket of owning company shares. To help illustrate this point with a real-world example, I'm going to be using the Vanguard Global Stock Index Investor Fund, as it aims to track the MSCI World Index, and it's done so pretty well. Without getting too technical, it's just a good representation of a passive route to owning a little piece of the same businesses you'll buy goods and services from every single day. And with those assumptions set, let's take a look at the results. Firstly, we can set out what the car payments would have cost us over the 10, 15 and 20-year time frames for each of the 3 cars. But more importantly, we can then look at what the opportunity cost would have been had we invested those car payments into the Vanguard fund I mentioned each month over those time frames. Using our example figures, the premium SUV ends up costing over £350,000 more in terms of the missed opportunity. And I imagine there'll be one or two of you right now thinking, well, my car payment's over £1,000 a month. Well, if you're interested, that £1,000 a month, if invested over the last 20 years, could have added up to over £750,000. But I don't just want to have some dig at car payments here. You could apply this opportunity cost mentality to anything and everything you buy, from your Netflix subscription to your gym membership, to even something as simple as buying lunch. Now, I'm not saying don't buy lunch, I'm not saying don't buy a car, but next time you're stood in the car dealership, if the salesman pitches you something that you really want, but it's another £200 a month, you might think, well, we could stretch to that, we can make that work in the monthly budget. But if you paused for a second, thought a bit longer about the opportunity cost, would you still go ahead with it? The trouble that I've found with cars, or pretty much any lifestyle expense, is that once you've got used to a certain standard, it's kind of difficult to go backwards. Not impossible, but it doesn't feel great. And I'm sure it does play on people's minds that if they go from driving some big German SUV and downgrade that to a little runaround, that the neighbours might think they've fallen on hard times. But what your neighbours can't see is your bank balance, the pension pot value that you've got, the value of your investments, your net worth. And ultimately, you've got to ask yourself, what's more important? Is it keeping up appearances, or is it about your quality of life, your freedom, not having to worry about money? Plus, the figures I mentioned here are just the start. Because let's say you did go with that Hyundai payment over the Audi payment for the last 20 years. That 350,000 ish that you would have built up can then start to work for you. The money starts doing the legwork. And even if you added nothing more to the pot, that 350,000 could grow to around 570,000 or more over the next 10 years. And that is opportunity cost. Thank you for watching. My name's Andrew. I'm a chartered financial planner based here in the UK. Has this video made you question the true cost of your car payment? Will you be doing anything differently for your next vehicle? And is there anything in your monthly budget that you could trim to present yourself with a greater opportunity? If you're new to the channel, tap that subscribe button and let me know in the comments your thoughts on opportunity cost.